Okay, for a paring knife, which we use in bookbinding, the edge here is 1mm leather. So we have the epiderm side and then we have the suede side, and we're going to pare that off to make it thinner here on the edge, so when it folds over on your book, when you fold this on, there is no edge. So when the paper goes over it, there's no line. It should be perfectly flat. That's called paring. So what we do, we use a paring knife. This one is from traditional bookbinding. See the thickness of the steel? Very thick steel here, and it's tapered all the way down. So it's very good steel. It should ping, and you want a very good handle on it. The handle must be good, because if you get a cheap one, some of the really cheap ones, and you push down like that to pare, if it breaks here, you can cut yourself. That is very sharp. It's like a razor. So you need quality. All the traditional bookbinding ones are tested and proven. And if they're not, they're thrown out and they don't buy them. Then you need a good stone. This is a whetstone. So it's just basically a rock out of the river, but it's a shale. And we're going to rub it. You have a flat edge, which you grind the other angle. You grind like that, or you can do like that. So you're getting the whole curve. Every part of that has to be even. So we're doing it like that. And then once you've done a few of those, you put it on the flat side flat, and you just give it a rub like that. And that gets rid of any burrs. Be very careful. If I do that too hard, I'm going to take some skin off. That's how sharp it is. You can almost raise. So very high tensile steel and a good stone. And then if you want a really fine edge, this one is very, very softer. This is a smoother one. And you can do a very final one on that. If you're doing a lot of it, you can wet them or put an oil on them. You don't have to. And then what you do is you get a piece of spare leather and you strop. It's called stropping. And that will make it really get rid of the real fine edges on it. You'll see a barber used to do it on the cutthroat razors. So the leather, that gives a really fine edge on that. Now I won't do it because that is razor sharp. Okay, so then you can do it on the mat. I use this direction. And that's it. That's all you need to do. So you just work along like that. But see how it's taking some of the green off of the mat? About 3mm in, that's all you need. 1/8 of an inch or 3mm. And then you can see the paring's done there. And then you just straighten it up if you want. You can straighten that off with a very good Stanley knife. So you got a perfect edge on that. You can also use marble. If you get an old piece of flat marble, traditionally they do them on that. You can see it doesn't cut into the marble, it just cuts it. I prefer that way. You can also, I've seen them do it like this, but I find that that is not as accurate. You're only doing this little bit here. This way you're using the whole blade. Now, when you see those little edges there, when I'm finished, I just run that along, get rid of that, and that's all you need. So when that goes onto your book, it's perfectly flat, and then the paper, the end paper comes over it. And that's how you do it. So the thicker the leather, this is pigskin, it's about 1mm. If you get up on the leather, you can get them 2-3mm. They're a lot easier to do. Cow leather is a lot easier because it's a thicker leather and it's much easier. This is very fine, and the calf skin is even harder, but it's very thin, so you just have to do just a little bit, bang like that. If you've got a good tool, it'll last you a lifetime, this one, because its length here is very long. It's not a little bit here, so as you sharpen and sharpen, 20 years you'll probably end up to there, 50. This one would last at least 100 years. Traditional bookbinding paring tool. I recommend it. Keep it in there so you can't cut yourself. And be very careful. They are sharper than this.